worldwide at the Radisson Hotel in Green Bay. This is Locker Room with Local 5 Sports Director Bert Griffin.
The losing streak is over at Lambeau Field, but there's still plenty of work to do for the green and gold. And as the Packers prepare for Pittsburgh, Green Bay faces another tough test on the road. Get ready for another edition of Locker Room. Good evening and welcome to another edition of Locker Room inside a packed Cedar and Sage restaurant at the Radisson Hotel and Conference Center. Well, the Packers improving to 3-5 on the season by beating the Rams, and now they will head to Pittsburgh to face the Steelers on Sunday. And at this point, anybody's game if they can get back to 500 and make a run toward the playoffs. Joining me tonight as my co-host of the show, please welcome former defensive back and special team star and Super Bowl champ, Jarrett Bush. What's up, buddy? What's up, Bert? How are you doing?
Doing good. Fantastic. Good. Full house tonight, huh?
Festive crowd, especially when they win, right?
Right, definitely. Let's keep it going.
You don't have to apologize for victories in the NFL, no matter who you're playing. I know it's cliche. Sometimes it's when you play somebody, not who you play. They didn't have Matthew Stafford at quarterback, but Green Bay's defense played well enough to pitch a field goal. I mean, they allowed less than 200 yards of total offense.
Yeah, definitely. And I really love the fact that they play on the forefront. You can definitely see that Devondre Campbell added a huge just calmness. At the same time, harnessed aggression. Yep. Jonathan Owens stepped up. Carrington Valentine stepped up big time in those third down plays. And Anthony Johnson in that pick.
Yeah, well, everybody last week, it seemed like, I don't want to say it was an overreaction on social media or talk radio, but, what are we going to do without Rasul Douglas? Yeah. Those young fellas in that defensive backfield played pretty darn well.
Right, and you touched on it. It's next man up mentality, and I love that mantra carries over in today's generation for the Packers.
Well, and another step forward was the fact that they actually scored a touchdown in the first half. Aaron Jones finding the end zone. I think week by week we're going to see him get a little bit better with that hamstring issue.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing, Bert. When you see this young team, you understand that they're struggling, obviously, but you want to see them continue to get better. Are they getting better? Is Jordan Love taking this 3 to 4 step drop and getting the ball out? Is the offensive line getting those hard yards to get on those third inches? Are the receivers making the catches when they need those crucial catches? And you want them to continue to progress. You never want to see them digress, because then all of a sudden you're starting back at square one. Always you want to start seeing that growth. And how do you measure that?
Yep.
Production.
Well, and it's the little things that truly matter. Jair Alexander going up, tipping that pass.
Right.
All of a sudden, Anthony Johnson Jr. comes down with the pick. Late in the game, couple of big chunk plays, Dontavian Wicks, Christian Watson, and then eventually just great play design with let's fake the screen one side, fake the little flare route the other, and then there's your big tight end wide open over the middle. Musgrave scores his first TD, but he didn't keep the football. He spiked it, and I think he went whatever, and he didn't even do the Lambeau leap either.
He was probably so excited, Bert.
Right.
Hopefully Red Batty, the equipment manager,
right,
put his name on it, probably stuck in his locker, probably give it to his family later on.
Maybe he had to sign an autographed jersey for the fan out there who had it in the stands at one point, I think.
So he gave it away?
No, I think it bounced into the stands. He spiked it so hard. I don't know. We'll have to go back and look at the tape. But I know he was so jacked up. And anyway, they come away with a 20-3 victory. And now they've got a stretch of games before Thanksgiving at Pittsburgh. You got the Chargers coming here.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, maybe they can get a little payback in Detroit.
Yeah, like I said, I think, how do you keep this same momentum? How do you sustain the confidence that they built up this game against the Rams? And that's what you really want to see, is how do you sustain it? Obviously, the beginning of the game plan for the coaches, they tossed it out the window because obviously it wasn't working.
Right.
So, okay, now you have a 2-5 or 3-5 Rams team.
Yep.
Okay. We have to try something new for these guys to feel comfortable, play fast, and understand what they're doing so they can go out and get the W. These guys are young. These guys are green-eared. But they are full of a spirit and very much enthusiasm. So how do we get these guys to play fast? Just keep it simple, dial in, let them play.
All right, time now for our U.S. Cellular call of the game with 5 minutes left in the contest. The Packers hanging on to that 10-point lead. Jordan Love decides to chuck one deep for Christian Watson. He goes up, hauls it in for a 37-yard catch. That would set up the final score of the game to put the contest away. Jordan Love to Christian Watson is our U.S. Cellular call of the game. Came down hard, back, got the wind knocked out of him. They went into concussion protocol, but it seems like he's all good.
Yeah, and it definitely felt better when he caught it.
Right.
You know, if he missed it, it would hurt so much worse.
It's exactly the case for wide receivers. All right, one guy who knows a thing or two about, well, at least blocking. I don't know if he's caught any passes in his lifetime, but Packers offensive lineman Jon Runyan Jr. is in the house. He will join us coming up after the break. Welcome back to Locker Room right here inside the Cedar and Sage restaurant at the Radisson Hotel and Conference Center. Got a raucous crowd here tonight, Jarrett. I think they're here just for this guy, Jon Runyan Jr. Everybody out there.
Hey now.
Thank you. Crazy, huh?
Oh yeah, a lot of energy tonight.
That's the difference between winning and losing, right there.
Yeah.
The crowd
Everybody
says.
loves it.
How do you?
Let's get a few more of those.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree.
How good did that feel after you get into a rough stretch there? And Jarrett and I have talked about this before. It's the NFL. Everybody gets paid big time money to go out there. You don't have to apologize that Matthew Stafford wasn't on the other side of the ball. It's a good, solid home win, wasn't it?
Definitely. The margins in this league are so close. It comes down to a play here and there, or a penalty, or a turnover, and sometimes the ball goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. And finally get one at home. It's been a while. It's a good feeling. Everybody in the locker room loves it. I mean, I can feel the energy here. Everybody's really enthused about it, and it's just about stacking those days and turn those all those games into W's going forward. So we're looking to do that.
Nice.
Okay, so everybody, I think a lot of people, even for me, what was the clarification or what was the notes that you got from the refs about that push-tush play?
Yeah.
They called it on number 73, but they said it was you. Can you clarify
so,
that for the audience?
It was tough for me, honestly, because after the first attempt at it, we got called for offsides. I really had no idea what had happened, and I kind of just assumed like a wide receiver jumped out on the edge or was lined up offside, so I had no idea what really went on. And then when we went to run it a second time, of course, everything in the stadium went quiet, and I heard them announce my number over the PA system in the stadium, and they said that I was offsides. Look up at the Jumbotron, and obviously I'm kind of just lined up normally, and they said that I was too far forward, even though I was kind of even with the center, and apparently got a backup. I've been lining up like that my whole life, playing football in short yardage situations, so that's kind of a point of emphasis for them and something new for me, and really had no idea up until this game about that.
Yeah, and so it's actually the physical length of the football itself, right? Yeah. So you can't be shoulder to shoulder, and your helmet cannot be wherever the ball is placed. So it kind of really is up to Josh in the middle as he kind of adjusts. Forward. Yeah, I mean, he could kind of sneak it forward a little bit, but I mean, just a weird call. I don't remember seeing that ever. And how many years?
No, I saw statistics saying that there's been like 8 offensive offsides penalties in the last 10 years, and this year there's been 9.
Wow.
So I guess they're really trying to crack down on that point of emphasis, because Philly's really trademarked that tush-push play, and I think they're looking at a way trying to phase it out of the game. So this might be one of their attempts to do it. So I don't really know, but that's how they're calling it now.
It's effective, though.
Yeah, it definitely is. It works. I think we got about at least 1, maybe 2 yards every time we did it. So,
I think instead of the tush-push, you should call it the love-shove.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
You know what I mean?
That works.
I'm just saying.
I might have to trademark that.
I'll let you trademark it. We'll go into business, make some T-shirts. Jordan.
That's a good one.
The love shove.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Speaking of the big fellas up front, you guys as a group, I mean, there's so many moving parts, and I say that because of versatility. You played left guard, you played right guard. Zach Tom can do quite a few different things. We've seen in the past what Elton Jenkins brings to the party. Yosh Nijman has switched from both sides. Do you feel that that's one of the biggest strengths of this team, is that you got 7 or 8 dudes who can pretty much do it all?
Definitely, and I think that's not by mistake. I think Coach Stenovich, Coach Buckets, Coach Mahaffey, you get here, you're going to have to learn every position on the offensive line, whether you're playing inside or you're playing outside or you're playing center or playing left, right, doesn't matter. They want to get guys moving all around, because in the heat of the game, don't really know what's going to happen. Some guy can go down. You can lose 1 guy, 2 guys. Somebody's got to step up and get in there. So to have that, availability of being able to play all across the offensive line is really important, and something that's been a really big stressor for our coaches. And you see it on the weekly basis. Guys getting shipped around every weekend, and you kind of feel like we don't really skip a beat. And that's a real credit to our the guys on being able to do that, and also our coaches preparing for us for that.
Okay, hot question for you. So I played with Stenovich, Adam Stenovich at Carolina. We were both undrafted free agents.
Yeah.
And every time we went to a place during preseason, we asked the old linemen where to go get something to eat, because you guys knew where all the good spots are.
Because they eat a lot?
Yeah.
Well, you guys know where to eat.
No, for sure.
So is that the same? Is there a certain restaurant that you go to make sure that you're feeling at your best, that you know you had a solid meal? And what is that spot here in Green Bay and maybe Chicago?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. I think my fiance and I, one of our favorite spots around here is Blue, about 15 minutes down south. One of my favorite go-to spots. We go there a lot, and really enjoyed. In Chicago, I don't know, really try to mix it up. I think most recently I've been to Joe's Steakhouse when we were down in Chicago. I know we did have an offensive line dinner one time down there.
See what I mean?
Sure.
They all get together.
Dinner. We went and got sushi down there before we played the Bears, so we got a few spots down there.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Is that still a Thursday night thing usually? It used to be back in the day, I remember that.
Yeah, we do offensive line dinners on Thursday nights, and it used to always be a Rustique up in Swamico, but now recently kind of switching around, and we get more intake, and we go around to different places around the area, and you guys really enjoy it.
Back to the football for a minute. What do you think the key to success was against a pretty decent Rams defensive line? I mean, you guys put up over 180 yards as a whole, and Aaron Jones got 20 touches, and when he's healthy, he's a difference maker, isn't he?
Yeah, I think that's the key, what you just said right there. Aaron Jones got 20 touches in the game, and I think, my opinion, he's our best offensive player, and you put the ball in his hands, good stuff's going to happen. And I think we kind of established sort of a formula for victory this game, and that's going to be running the ball, putting in Aaron Jones' hands and switching it up to AJ. And I felt like we blocked pretty well this game. Like you said, really good Rams front seven. Those run games really get linebackers and safeties playing soft in the run game, and once you start hitting those runs, they start playing up, and that's when you see those really nice, easy shots that Jordan was making down the field. And he had a really effective game. I think he was like 20 to 26, and it just kind of looked easy today. And this was what we need. This
Great
is what we
second half.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, we got to talk about something that you're involved with, St. Vincent de Paul.
Yeah.
You got some folks here out there, and they're hanging out in the crowd. And
There he is.
look, it's a small town, John, and you know what? You and several other players get involved actively in the community. Why St. Vincent de Paul? I know it's near and dear to your heart, and you've done several functions with them.
Yeah, just a funny story. Chris McCarthy back there, I first met her and Bill, two very great people. I met them first. I was flying back. I went to watch a game back at my alma mater, University of Michigan, and had a layover in Detroit and got on Detroit, flying back to Green Bay. And Bill and Chris both recognized me, and they kind of stopped me. Stop me is like a nice term. I think she kind of stalked me getting off the plane. Yeah. And she will admit that that's what happened as well. And I've always been looking to try to get involved in something in Green Bay, and I really didn't know. I was trying to find my way, figure out something, and this kind of just sprung on me, and just kind of felt like a perfect fit. And Chris's passion for St. Vincent de Paul and the homeless people in this area really motivates me to want to help her, because everything she does is for these people, and it's kind of something that has really gone unnoticed in this area. And you know, the Green Bay winters get really cold around here, and sometimes some people don't have places to go. So, you know, her passion and Bill's passion for, you know, those people who sometimes are a lot of times less fortunate for us really goes a long way. And I do a lot of stuff to help them, and, you know, it makes me feel good, and it's glad to know that I'm helping them and other people as well.
Very cool. Stop down there right off of Webster Avenue. I know when my kids are growing like weeds, I drop all the clothes and shoes and jackets off. That's where I bring them. So,
there you go.
All right, when we come back, well, before that, we've got our Easy Tab fan cam coming up right now, but we'll have plenty more with John Runyon Jr. We'll talk about those Steelers coming up after the break. Welcome back to Locker Room right here inside the Cedar and Sage restaurant at the Radisson Hotel and Conference Center. Rarely do you have a former player show up if he's not getting paid, but look at that big guy on the end there. How about Kevin Berry, Racine's finest, next to me, of course. We know we wrote to the same hometown, right?
Yeah.
He'll help out every now and then on a bye week. He's done the show a few times.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
All
sure.
right, let's talk about those Steelers real quick, John. What do you know? I mean, looking at them from a defensive perspective, they got a couple studs up front, and Cam and T.J. Watt and Hayward, and former Packer Montrevious Adams is on the team. I know he's questionable, I think, right now, but they're pretty stout.
Definitely, and I think that's just the Steelers' brand and their identity that they've been for so long is, they're a really physical defensive front, and it's going to be a tough game going into Pittsburgh. My first time playing there, but I kind of understand the kind of Pittsburgh, the Steelers brand of football, and it's going to be another tough physical game against some really good players, and there's nothing more you can ask for. That's just the kind of games that we kind of like as offensive linemen, and it's going to have to be the same thing. Run the ball and take our shots down the field when we can.
All right, well, this is Locker Room, and every week we go into the locker room. Time now for In the Zone with Cam Ezer, presented by the Oneida Nation.
Here with Packers wide receiver Christian Watson. Christian, you've been playing football for most of your life, I assume. How do you feel like being a professional athlete has taught you about yourself and you just as a football player in general?
I mean, at the end of the day, football itself has taught me a lot. It's taught me, how to be a man, how to overcome, obstacles and stuff in life. But I mean, at this level, you're definitely going to face a lot of adversity. I just think it's taught me a lot about just my mentality, how I approach, obstacles in life. Just gotta, there's gonna be bad stuff that happens. You just gotta, find a way to stay even keeled and just go on.
Every athlete wants to win, right? Win a national championship. That's the ultimate goal, or a Super Bowl, or whatever it may be in their respective sport. You did that in college at North Dakota State. What did that teach you about your hunger and your drive to win?
I'm a competitor, down to my core. I want to win at anything I'm doing. If I'm just, at home playing rock, paper, scissors, with my fiance, I'm trying to win every time. I'm gonna be mad when I lose. I'm definitely a competitor, at my core.
What's always drawn curiosity in me is why you pick your football number. You were number 1 in North Dakota State. Now you're number 9 here on the Packers. What went into that change?
They didn't have one available. It's, like retired, not really, but it is. So that wasn't available. And honestly, I just asked for what numbers were available. They gave me some options, and honestly, I just thought 9 was the best number. There wasn't really too much thought behind it. I just liked number 9 more than the other options, to be honest.
And last one for you, we were talking a little bit off camera, but your hairdo. Sometimes you go with the short, sometimes you go with the afro. That's something you've always done, the switch. Is there a reason, superstition behind that?
No, there's no superstition. I just like switching it up. Sometimes I like going with braids. Sometimes I like going with twists. Sometimes I like going with the cornrows, and sometimes just with the fro. I just like switching it up. I'm kind of indecisive with the hair. I'm just indecisive, honestly. That's more so what it is.
All right, thanks, fellas. When he is healthy, he is a game changer, right, John?
That is for sure. Him making that catch last week, big time shot down the field, really set up that score at Musgrave, and that was really big in that game to put him away.
That's definitely huge. All right, when we come back, it's time to wrap up the show. We'll have our keys to the game with John Runyon Jr. and former Packer defensive back Jared Bush. Welcome back to the show. Their best seats in the house, brought to you by Viper Industrial. Keaton Kemmers from Appleton and his Aunt Tanya from the UP in Ontonagon. Big game against the Steelers for both teams. Our keys to the game are brought to you by the dispensary. We can say this almost every single week. Pressure the quarterback, especially Kenny Pickett. He's a young guy. Keep running the rock and limit penalties, right, John? That's been big for you guys this year, and not in a good way.
For sure. I was definitely going to say that. Limit penalties and control their defensive front, and I think it should be a good game for us.
Score fast and keep the crowd out of it.
Exactly.
Pittsburgh's kind of crazy like that. John Runyon Jr., everybody. Mr. Jared Bush. I'm Bert Griffin. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.
Thank you for watching Locker Room.